Hey everyone, and welcome back on the channel. My name is Alex. In today's video I'm sharing with you my very first impressions about the Nike Vaporfly 4. This shoe is brand new. It's releasing on March 1st on Nike.com and very soon after at our partner topforeign.com, on which you can get a discount using code META, M-E-T-A. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and you check the community tab here on this channel, because I will share with you an affiliate link which really helps us when you use it to buy this shoe whenever it releases. I'm sharing these first impressions with you after one run, so this is really, very fresh, a very hot take after a 9-kilometer run, including 2 times a mile. So it's not even a session or a workout, this is like an appetizer, but it gave me a good idea of what will work, what will not work, and then I will need to spend a bit more time in this shoe to have, a more in-depth opinion about it. Looking into the specs, we have 169 grams for a men's size US 9. In my size US 11 EU 45, this is probably around that 200 grams, maybe even less, 195, 197, which is really competitive. And you can feel it. It is much lighter compared to the other Vaporfly 1, 2, 3, Vaporfly Next Percent 1, 2, 3. So good job Nike here. Stack height, we're looking at 35, 36 millimeters in the heel, 6 millimeters drop for that 30-ish millimeters in the forefoot. So it is going down a little bit, it is closer to the ground. And yes, you can feel it, but at the same time, the drop is changing, moving from that 8 millimeters down to a 6 millimeters, adding a bit more foam under the forefoot, which technically is good because that's where you need to push on. And this is supposedly a good thing here. Looking at the upper of the shoe, that's one of the areas where Nike had to address a few concerns that they had, that people raised with the Vaporfly 3, namely the heel lockdown, which was really poor on the Vaporfly 3. The tongue of the Vaporfly 3 was also way too long. The material itself was not bad, but it wasn't providing with the better experience that the Vaporfly has always given runners. Now, on this shoe, the tongue has been addressed. It is shorter, it's a much better tongue for sure. There is more padding around the heel collar, but the lockdown is still quite poor in my opinion. And overall, the upper, yes, is addressing a bit of the concerns that people had with the Vaporfly 3, but on the other hand, it's not a dramatic change, it's not a dramatic update, and it is still a weak area for me with the shoe, especially in the heel where the lockdown is really subpar. I tried a few things. At the beginning of my run today, I did try a runner's knot. I did try to pull as hard as I could on the laces. I actually went also half size down. So this is a 10.5 US, not even my true to size US 11. Despite all of these kind of tweaks and changes, the lockdown in the heel was still quite poor. Maybe a smidge better compared to the Vaporfly 3, but definitely not ideal. The fit, the sizing, like I said, I went half down because of the lockdown issue that I already felt in the store here in Tokyo, Japan. This, by the way, is a shoe that's the store very kindly lent us for a few hours. So we just borrowed it, we went for a run, and now we're gonna go back and give it back to them. But anyways, they gave me a US 11. I felt that it was gonna be way too much of an issue with the lockdown. So I decided to go half down, 10.5, which made it quite short. I think US 11, my true to size and your true to size should be the right size for you, but make sure you try it out in a store because of the heel lockdown issue that I just mentioned. Looking into the midsole of this Vaporfly 4, we have the very trusted and well-known ZoomX foam, which was the original super foam. Like it's just written here on the inside, on the medial side of the shoe, the original super shoe. It's also the original super foam, ZoomX. This is, in my opinion, still PIBA based, probably that super critical foaming process of PIBA, SCF PIBA type of foam. Is it PIBA? Is it PIBAX? Is it a blend of PIBA and something else, TPE? I believe this is still PIBA based, supercritical PIBA in my opinion. But first, before going into the midsole and how it rides, let's look into the specs of the shoe. The midsole specs, 35 millimeters in the heel, 29 in the forefoot, something like that. This is stuff that I gather on the internet, info from the internet, nothing confirmed by Nike. So I will confirm once Nike releases their spec sheets. It's closer to the ground, there's no doubt about it. It doesn't feel as protective for the legs as it used to be for the Vaporfly, certainly not as protective as the Alphafly is. And 6 millimeters in this shoe will make it feel a bit more aggressive, but at the same time, it also feels less protective. So it's almost like this shoe is now that 10K half marathon shoe and not anymore the marathon shoe, which is what the Alphafly probably is for Nike. In my opinion, this is probably how they're segmenting their lineup. Strict Fly 2, 5K, 10K, or mile 5K, this 10K half marathon, and then the Alphafly half marathon. Looking at the ride, like I said, it's close to the ground. I did feel quite some ground under my foot when I was running in the shoe. So, not ideal for longer distances, but if you like something closer to the ground, a bit more aggressive, a bit more agile, it might be the right shoe for you. I was mentioning ZoomX, how it feels, how it rides. This is a softer version of ZoomX once more, and I feel like it's not as responsive as it could be or should be. I was sinking in quite a bit, but it didn't give back some energy, so the foam displacement was quite high without releasing energy back. You can feel the plate, but this is also due to having a bit less foam, so you can feel the plate a bit more under your foot. And one of the main issues is the net base width here in this shoe. It's quite wide in the forefoot, but it's very narrow here in the midfoot, very narrow in the heel. And with the very soft foam, you do encounter a lot of instability in the shoe, especially if you already have high or moderate pronation levels. The person who's filming now, Julius, our videographer, is a beginner runner, or at least someone who picked up running recently and is not super skilled just yet. And this shoe, for someone like him who has quite some pronation, was a real nightmare. He was really collapsing on the medial side. We have some footage right now for you on your screen, which goes to show that no matter the level or how you are running, if a shoe is not stable for you, it will not be a magical tool that will provide performance and speed for you and for anyone. Overall, the ride of this shoe did not convince me 100%. I cannot say that I was disappointed or I have not a final assessment to share with you right now, but I wasn't like blown away in my first run. Like, it does happen sometimes with some shoes. And some people might say that I don't like Nike. I actually don't have anything against them. I think the Alphafly 3 is a great shoe. They have some really, really good shoes. They have done some poor choices and poor shoes also in the past few months, in the past few years. And I feel like this one is leaning more towards the second category. Hopefully, I will just change my opinion. I will have better sessions, better runs in this shoe in the future. But from what I did, some, let's say, easy running, which this shoe is definitely not made for, but then also some marathon pace, half marathon pace, so a mile around 3:45 per kilometer, and then another mile around 3:18, so more my 5K pace. I wasn't blown away, to be very honest with you. And this again is first impression, so let's see how it evolves in time. The outsole has also been changed. As you can see, you have a full coverage of rubber here in the forefoot, whereas the Vaporfly 3 had a bit of openings in that coverage. I didn't encounter any issues, but it was really dry today in Tokyo. So, let's see how it handles wet surfaces, dead leaves, and stuff like that later on in this review process. This is the Vaporfly 4. This is the first impression video here on the channel. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Again, it's based on one run, and this is being super honest and transparent with you as always. I'm gonna write some more thoughts on the website here in a few days after testing this shoe. Thank you so much to the Nike store here in Ginza for giving us the opportunity to try this shoe, myself and Julius behind the camera. Thanks for watching, enjoy your run today, enjoy your ride, and let's link to the review of the Alphafly 3.